barbershop is more than just a place to get a haircut. It's a mirror reflecting the history, resilience, and culture of a people. It's a sanctuary where empires were built with clippers, where kings of creativity were crowned, and where the bonds of community were strengthened in the face of adversity. This story begins with the sacred grooming rituals of the Zulu tribe, where hair symbolized identity, status, and pride. Under the skilled hands of artisans, intricate styles were crafted to signify readiness for battle, spiritual journeys, or milestones in life. But this cultural artistry took a devastating turn with the transatlantic slave trade. As enslaved men and women were torn from their homelands, their hair, their identity, was forcibly stripped, reducing centuries of tradition to a fight for survival. On southern plantations, barbering re-emerged as an act of resilience. From these beginnings, barbering grew into a tradition rooted in artistry, resistance, and the unyielding strength of community, paving the way for the barbershops that would later become pillars of black culture. It all started back in the African roots of hair traditions. The Zulu tribe of South Africa, hair carried profound cultural and spiritual significance, serving as a living canvas of identity, heritage, and social standing. For Zulu men, hairstyles often reflected their life stage, societal role, or readiness for battle. Intricate patterns and styles symbolized bravery and strength, with warriors often adopting bold, sculptural designs that projected their status and determination. These styles were not chosen arbitrarily, but were deeply tied to their roles within the community and their spiritual beliefs. Hair grooming was seen as an intimate act of care, bonding, and respect, often performed by trusted family members or community elders. Meanwhile, women in Zulu culture adorned their hair with styles like Bantu knots, cornrows, or braided designs, each imbued with meaning. These hairstyles celebrated femininity, tradition, and the transitions of life, such as marriage or motherhood. Beyond aesthetics, hair also served as a medium for storytelling and cultural preservation. The act of grooming itself was a communal ritual, fostering connection and reinforcing a sense of belonging. These Zulu traditions highlight the role of hair as a marker of identity and community pride, a sentiment that endures in modern barbershops today. During the era of slavery, enslaved individuals often served as barbers to their masters and others in the white elite, marking a complex and painful chapter in the history of barbering. Stripped of their freedom, these skilled craftsmen were forced to perform grooming services that reinforced the power dynamics of the time. Barbering, which had once been a sacred and communal act in African traditions, became a survival skill under the oppression of slavery. Yet even in these circumstances, it provided enslaved men with a rare opportunity to occupy a space of trust and proximity to their oppressors, offering a small measure of autonomy and, in some cases, a chance to earn tips or build networks that could later help secure their freedom. These barbers played a dual role. They were tools of a system designed to dehumanize them, yet their work kept alive the artistry and resilience that would become the foundation of the modern black barbershop. After the slaves were free, one of the most influential figures in early American barbering was William Johnson, Zrania, known as the Barber of Natchez. Born a free black man in 1809, Johnson's barbershop became one of the most successful in the antebellum South. His meticulously kept journals provide a rare window into the lives of free African Americans in a time of great tension and oppression. Johnson's success was remarkable. He was a skilled barber who earned the trust and patronage of the town's wealthy white elite. Yet, beyond the sharp razors and smooth fades, his barbershop was a place of profound social and economic significance for the Negro community. Johnson's establishment became a meeting point for black men, a safe haven where they could exchange ideas, strategize, and support one another. As we move through the South and into the streets of Philadelphia, another story unfolds, the story of Alexander Hill, a black barber who, in the late 1800s, catered to the elite of Philadelphia. His success as a barber allowed him to break racial barriers and amass considerable wealth, and like Johnson, his shop became more than just a place to get a trim. Barbershops during this period were a paradox. They were one of the few respected trades open to freedmen, yet they existed within a system that oppressed black people at every turn. For many, barbering represented a chance at independence and success despite the racist forces of the time, but for the patrons, it was also a place to escape the harsh realities of the segregated world outside. The early 20th century witnessed the rise of barbershops as cultural institutions for black Americans. In Atlanta, Alonzo Herndon, born into slavery in 1858, made history as one of the wealthiest black businessmen in America. After learning the trade of barbering, Herndon opened the Crystal Palace Barbershop, a luxurious establishment that catered to both black and white clientele. But his success didn't stop there. Herndon used his earnings to establish the Atlanta Life Insurance Company, providing much-needed financial services to African Americans who had been shut out of mainstream companies due to racial discrimination. Herndon's legacy isn't just one of financial success, it is a testament to the power of the barbershop as a hub for black entrepreneurship and empowerment. In Harlem, during the cultural explosion of the Harlem Renaissance, barbershops like Red's Barbershop became gathering places for the intellectual and artistic elite. Figures such as Langston Hughes, Duke Ellington, and other writers and musicians frequented these spaces, where the exchange of ideas and discussions on politics and culture flourished. Barbershops became sanctuaries for these revolutionaries, fostering creativity, activism, and solidarity in a world where black voices were often silenced. Moving north to Chicago, we find the Moore brothers Joseph and Henry Moore, two pioneers who shaped the future of barbering. In 1919, they founded Moore's College of Barbering, a training institution that revolutionized the way barbering was taught. Their focus on precision, professionalism, and community set new standards for the industry. The Moore brothers not only provided formal education, but also empowered young black men to view barbering as a pathway to independence and entrepreneurship. Their curriculum emphasized the importance of clean lines, sharp fades, and scissor-over-comb techniques, which became hallmarks of their teaching. They also instilled in their students a sense of pride in their craft, making barbering more than just a trade. It was a profession that demanded respect and skill. The impact of the Moore brothers went beyond the technical side of barbering. They saw the potential for barbershops to be places of social and political empowerment. Their schools produced a new generation of black barbers who understood that their work was not just about cutting hair, but about building community and fostering relationships. Their barbershops became safe spaces for black men to gather, share ideas, and support one another in ways that were impossible elsewhere in a segregated America. The Moores' legacy in the barbering world is still felt today, as their emphasis on professionalism and cultural pride laid the foundation for modern barbering schools and salons that continue to serve as pillars of the African American community. Amid Jim Crow segregation, barbershops became safe spaces for black communities to discuss politics, family, and culture. While barbershops thrived, they were not immune to the challenges that plagued black America, including systemic racism, addiction, and economic disparity. 1960s civil rights era barbershops like Memphis's Mitchell's Barbershop doubled as organizing hubs. Martin Luther King Jr. frequented such spaces, discussing strategy for marches and sit-ins. The crack epidemic of the 1980s and early 1990s had a devastating impact on black communities, including barbershops, salons, and other community hubs like churches. These spaces historically served as sanctuaries for social connection and economic independence. As crack cocaine infiltrated neighborhoods in cities such as Detroit, Baltimore, and Los Angeles, its rapid spread destabilized families and eroded the sense of security these institutions provided. Barbershops, once vibrant centers for mentorship and organizing, struggled as drug addiction, crime, and economic despair overtook communities. The influx of crack, fueled in part by systemic failures and policies that punished crack use disproportionately compared to powdered cocaine, targeted impoverished urban areas. The media's portrayal of the crisis often exaggerated fears, stigmatizing affected neighborhoods rather than addressing the root causes, such as unemployment and systemic inequality. The broader effects of the epidemic extended beyond addiction. It fractured support networks and drove violence tied to the illegal drug trade, which disproportionately impacted black men, leading to mass incarceration and further eroding community cohesion. The barbershop, a long-standing pillar of black resilience, was deeply affected, but it also played a role in recovery, offering a space for rebuilding trust and solidarity as communities sought to heal from the crisis. The barber James "Jimmy" Dawson became a local hero in Los Angeles, transforming his shop into a recovery resource center for addicts. The crack epidemic brought unimaginable challenges. Barbershop owners faced the dual challenge of keeping their businesses afloat and protecting their spaces from becoming sites of illegal activity. Yet many barbershops endured, serving as pillars of hope during the darkest times. The fade haircut, along with other precision grooming techniques like razor-sharp hairlines, was masterfully developed by African-American barbers and is deeply rooted in the cultural ingenuity of black communities. These techniques, such as the bald fade, temple fade, and blending, emerged from the creativity and artistry required to meet the specific grooming needs of African-American hair textures, which differ significantly from other hair types. The development of these styles was not just about aesthetics, but also about self-expression, cultural pride, and community identity. Barbers in black communities often combined technical skill with a deep understanding of symmetry and precision, which elevated the fade to an art form. The use of razors to achieve immaculate hairlines became a signature technique, drawing from the rich barbering tradition that emphasized craftsmanship and attention to detail. Over time, these styles gained widespread appeal and were adopted by other ethnicities, often without crediting their origins in black barbershops. The impact of these techniques is now global, with barbershops and stylists from all backgrounds incorporating fades, precise hairlines, and blending into their repertoire. The popularity of these styles underscores the cultural influence of African-American barbers on the grooming industry. Despite this, black barbers often receive limited recognition for their pioneering work, even as their techniques continue to define modern grooming standards. In a once male-dominated field, the rise of female barbers, particularly in the African-American community, is closely tied to socio-economic shifts like the mass incarceration of black men and the resulting dynamics within single-parent households. Women stepping into barbering initially sought to meet the practical need of grooming their sons. Over time, many recognize barbering as a lucrative business opportunity, challenging the traditional male-dominated narrative of the profession. In modern barbering, female barbers are thriving by breaking stereotypes and redefining the craft. They bring a distinctive precision and artistry to the trade, gaining respect and influence despite initial skepticism. Prominent female barbers like Sophie Staygold and Nicole Renee have demonstrated how creativity and innovation can transform the profession, inspiring more women to join the industry. Female barbers often contribute to a more inclusive and family-friendly barbershop environment. Their success underscores the importance of soft skills like customer service, professionalism, and rapport building, which many women naturally excel at. Their presence has diversified and enriched the barbering world, proving that skill and talent transcend gender boundaries. Women are making their mark, redefining barbering with innovation, creativity, and resilience. Lisa Lacey, Harlem's first black female barbershop owner in the area, breaking barriers in a traditionally male-dominated space. Christina Gorey, Los Angeles, a trailblazer in barber education, Gorey trains the next generation of barbers while promoting diversity. Modern women's barbershops in Brooklyn and Atlanta. Women-led shops like Sheer Genius in Brooklyn blend hairstyling and barbering, catering to diverse clientele. Women are not just barbers, they are leaders. From owning shops to mentoring younger barbers, women are reshaping what it means to be a barber in the 21st century. Their presence has also expanded barbershop culture to include a broader clientele, fostering inclusivity. As we look ahead, the question arises, can robots ever replace barbers? The Flowbee, a home haircutting system invented in 1986, became an unexpected commercial success. Its design combines a vacuum with a clipper, allowing users to cut hair cleanly and evenly without leaving a mess. The product gained popularity through infomercials in the late 1980s and 1990s, selling millions of units worldwide. By 2000, the Flowbee had reportedly sold over 2 million units, generating tens of millions of dollars in revenue. Inventor Rick Huntz originally pitched the Flowbee to major personal grooming companies like Conair and Norelco, but they dismissed the idea. Despite initial skepticism, its affordability and convenience appealed to consumers, especially those seeking a DIY solution for grooming at home. The product became particularly relevant during the COVID-19 pandemic, as sales surged when professional barbershops closed, proving its lasting appeal decades after its invention. The Flowbee has not been significantly updated since its original design, but its simplicity and efficiency have kept it popular among a niche audience. While it may not offer the precision of a professional barber, the Flowbee remains a testament to the demand for innovative grooming solutions. Several companies and researchers are developing robots capable of cutting hair, driven by motivations like efficiency, accessibility, hygiene, and cost reduction. One notable example is Shane Whiten's Stuff Made Here project, where he created a robotic barber during the pandemic to provide affordable, consistent haircuts while addressing social distancing concerns. This robot uses advanced technologies, including cameras, vacuum mechanisms, and software for precision cutting, indicating a push towards automation in personal care services. Another company, Bosch, created a robot for styling and hair care purposes, focusing on innovation in the beauty and grooming sectors. These efforts stem from a broader trend of automation aimed at reducing manual labor and serving a broader clientele, including individuals in underserved or remote areas. The psychological motivation also ties to convenience and creating consistent, standardized results, though challenges remain in replicating human creativity and adaptability. Robotic barbering is being explored worldwide, but the cities or regions actively using these technologies have not yet been widely adopted in mainstream salons. The focus currently lies in research, experimentation, and refining prototypes rather than commercial-scale deployment. Technology is advancing, but can it capture the artistry and community of the barbershop? In Tokyo, Japan, early adopters of robotic barbering systems, where precision and efficiency are prioritized. With Silicon Valley startups, companies like Hairbot are developing AI-driven tools to assist barbers in achieving perfect cuts. Detroit's Barber Tech Lab is a modern space where barbers collaborate with engineers to incorporate robotics into traditional barbering. Robots may streamline certain tasks, but the creativity, artistry, and human connection of barbering remain irreplaceable. Clients trust barbers not just for their skill, but for the conversations, humor, and shared experiences that no machine can replicate. From William Johnson's humble shop in Natchez to robotic innovations in Tokyo, the barbershop has always been a space for reinvention. It's a reflection of resilience, creativity, and community. No matter how advanced technology becomes, the soul of the barbershop will always be human. As we reflect on these stories, we see a consistent theme emerge. The barbershop is a space of connection. Whether in the antebellum South or the heart of Harlem, it has been a place where Black Americans could gather, resist, and thrive. It was a space where, despite the oppressive forces of racism and segregation, men could build empires with clippers and use their craft to create opportunities for themselves and their communities. Today, the barbershop continues to evolve. In a world increasingly shaped by technology, robotics, and artificial intelligence, the barbershop stands at a crossroads. Modern barbers are embracing new tools and techniques, blending tradition with innovation. Women are taking the helm, bringing new perspectives and leadership to an industry that has long been dominated by men. The rise of female barbers is rewriting the narrative, expanding the reach of the barbershop to include voices and perspectives that were previously excluded. Yet, despite all the technological advances, the heart of the barbershop remains unchanged. It is still a space for connection, community, and culture. It is still a place where creativity is celebrated, where history is honored, and where people from all walks of life come together to share in the ritual of grooming. Whether you're in a small corner barbershop in a city neighborhood or a sleek, tech-savvy salon in Silicon Valley, the legacy of the barbershop endures. And as we look to the future, we can be sure that the barbershop will continue to be a space where the stories of the past are remembered, and where the future of culture, innovation, and human connection are written with every clip and cut. The evolution of the barbershop is not just about hair, it is about heritage, resilience, and the enduring power of community. The chair still stands as a place where history is made, one cut at a time.